classic eye. All right. Eyeball. Okay. Okay, this might be changing my mind. I might really like this. Got the eyeball, got the little lid, some lashes. And that bottom lid, delicious. A little bit of a brow. Okay, now let's test. I wonder if does it react to the way you tilt? This way? It does. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay. Now let's have some fun. Oh, weird. Okay. It's gonna take some getting used to because the tip of the stylus is so small compared to the actual brush, so it's gonna be a little tricky to control at first. But looking nice. Oh, you know, maybe we'll just make this stream into a YouTube video later. And then I'll just add music later. That'll work too, because then I'd have to change the music anyway. Because I was going to play Silk Song music, and I probably would get copyright striked for that. Still new to the YouTube copyright rules, but from what I've been hearing, they're bad and getting worse. So yeah, it does feel like I'm smudging it. This would be good for practicing edge control, honestly. I've been trying to work on that recently. You know what's really good for that? Charcoal and watercolor. All of those loose mediums make you actually think about how crisp you want to make your borders, because it's really hard to. Because if you get carried away, everything is smudgy, and you gotta work hard to make some actual contrast happen. Okay, yeah, maybe I should just contact Procreate and get them to let me play around with their brushes and get paid for it. That'd be the dream, wouldn't it? Alright, and last but not least, we're gonna add some highlights. Juicy, look at that. Ah, nice. And this was done with Swansea and stringy bark. Oh yeah, you've been seeing me work with watercolor on Instagram. Yeah, I'm actually taking an intro to watercolor class this semester, partly because I have to just fill out more studio classes requirements so I could like graduate on time. But honestly, I am really interested in learning more watercolor because I do love that look, especially when it's done well. It's always exciting to start a new medium and just look at it and see how much you have to learn. It's like, new challenge. All right, sweet. So I don't want to get too carried away, but I got carried away. Oh, but it's so fun. Oh my gosh. How am I ever going to get any homework done after playing around with these? I'm going to have to figure out because I have like 3 projects due by tomorrow morning. Okay. Moving on. Pens. Woo! These are going to be fun because I don't usually draw in pencils. I'm a pen girl. Oh, look at that. That's fun. This is what, mink? This would be good for the comic, honestly. Look at that. Ooh. That'd be good for like certain stylistic magic effects or something. Like that with some overlay. Oh, weird. It's translucent. Shoot, maybe I should have been testing that. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense if it's a pen. That makes this a lot interesting. Cool. Okay, cool. Noted. Up next, Kestrel. Oh, that's nice. That's just like classic line art brush. Yes, I will be drawing an eye to test these. But we're doing different kinds of eyes, right? Eye diversity. I really like how it looks when it's lighter. It's interesting thing, it's got a little bit of a bleed to it, like the edges aren't super sharp. So the whole thing looks kind of fuzzy, like it's on thin paper. Kestrel. Alright. Up next, Alpine. This one looks more like the pen I use for the comics. Yeah, this is sharp. Whoa. There's no opacity difference though. So if you're to draw something, yeah, you gotta be intentional about the lines then because there's no lightness in this. Hmm. I don't think I'll be using this one as much, but especially because there's a little bit of smoothing going on. So this really be good for like if you have a smoother style. But not exactly mine. Up next, Bronze Wing. Hmm. Very cool. Oh, nice. This one's all opaque. Wait, I really like how the handwriting looks in that. This is cool. Up next, Sanderling. This one looks like it would be a good calligraphy one. Oh wait, there's a whole separate category for inks? Whoa. This is just pens? Okay. Whoa. Interesting. These are like fundamentally more advanced. The way they connect, they like bleed into each other a little bit. It's I don't know if I'm just making it up, but it definitely feels like, yeah, they change. Like that. Right there, there's bleeding happening in the corners where they cross over each other. That's cool. Okay. Sanderling. Yeah. Super realistic pen. That would be interesting to draw with. Oh man, imagine like gesture studies with that thing. Especially with the thick, like the wide range and width. Let's say this guy's getting ready for a kick. Now, I haven't practiced my anatomy in a while, so this might look a little crusty. Well, I'm loose with this, right? No, you gotta be confident in your anatomy skills to do that. Yikes. Okay. Hello! Welcome to the stream. Messing around with brushes right now, and I'm trying to remember what a person looks like. There. Man, this is so smooth though. And all the bleeding details. Ah. What's this guy do with his other hand? What would you do with your other hand if you're kicking? I don't know. You know, he's cool. His hand's just gonna fall. Yeah, just. You thought that was his arm? No, that's his leg. Yikes. We're gonna move on. Okay. Up next is Bellarive. Very sharp. Probably really good for calligraphy. Be good if I like could do it. There. Hold up. I'm out of meal swipes. You're out of meal swipes? Already? I did the weekly. Gotcha. Okay, well. Thanks for the offer. Yeah. We'll be back. No! Okay, we're back. Deal with something real quick. Okay, this is cool. Very vertical. But it also moves with the way you tilt your hand, so cool. Not gonna lie, this is already getting kind of boring. I mean, they're all pens. Liffy, I don't know, it's extra smooth. Well, really smooth. That's definitely if you want to, like, draw a sign on here. Elphinstone? Whoa. Okay. Intriguing. It's got a funny shape to it. This will be good for stylized line art. Wow, also no transparency variation though. Cool. Up next, vinyl. Wow, that's got a shape to it. Oh, funny though. Changes a lot with width. And of course, depending on the way you tilt it. Funny. This would honestly probably be good for architecture. Or if you got like you gotta draw a fence. Oh. There's pressure difference too. Yeah, you gotta draw a fence. Boom, 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 boom. Although you gotta be straight. I don't know. Probably another good lettering one. Last pen one, we got Inveresque. This one looks cool. That's funny. I feel like Procreate is getting more fancy about how they treat edges and stuff. Like, look at that. It's all. It's like it stays funky. You can't immediately pick out the shape of the brush anymore. Just by watching the curves, it really changes. Alright, alright. And more ink feeds into it the slower you go. Advanced, very nice. Now let's check opacity. How does it work? Sweet. Cool. Alright. That's that for... Should I delete that? Maybe not. That's that for pens. Now we get inks. Ooh, these look like they could be a little more interesting. First up, we got, oh my gosh, there's so many. We're not getting through all of these. Are we? No, I have homework. Okay. Shearwater. Very cool. This looks like this would be transparent. Is it transparent? It's not. Cool. When I look at these, this reminds me of like the ink on rice paper kind of things. You'd see like the cherry blossom paintings, and it'd be all looking like that, all flowy. And then you got the cherry blossom here, and it's all ooh, yeah. And then some waterfall in the background. Yeah, that's this. All right, cool. Nowhere else. We got a two-word brush in here. What's happening? Very cool. Neat texture. This one looks a little transparent. Ooh, that's cool. It's a little scratchy if you go lighter on the pressure. Funny, this one's like a semi-transparent, just a little bit translucent, one might say. Up next, Goshawk. I feel like I've heard that one before. Now that's thick. That is thick. That is dip the entire paintbrush in the inkwell kind of thick. Nice though. Satisfying. Probably good for coloring line art, you know? Just like that thick first layer that makes everything look all buttery and solid, but with a little bit of flavor there. So you seeing that? Ooh. Nice. Up next, Swift. I'm really looking forward to Nightjar. That looks interesting. You have to be swift. Looks cool when you're swift. There's more bleed. Ooh, look at that. Looks like it only bleeds in the same stroke though, because if you try and do that and then bleed through, it won't work. But it has to be, yeah, it has to be the same stroke. That's a really neat mechanic though. That hasn't been in any of the earlier brushes. Like this is definitely a new feature. Wow, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. It's so like, so realistic looking. All right, let's do cursive. Gosh, yeah, that looks neat. Okay. Oh, that wasn't Gosh, that was Swift. All right. Swift. It doesn't look like a T. Super cool though. Oh, you know what? Let's see how it looks when it's thinner. Yeah, neat. Okay, cool, cool. Up next, Nightjar. This one looks funky. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks really wobbly. Like you could very clearly see the shape going on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you press really hard, it goes whoosh. No, wait, it goes whoosh. Interesting. It's a little hard to control. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point because it's like supposed to be super blotchy, but it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know in what context I would ever use this, but you never know. Probably good for like horror artists who are into gore and stuff. Like, oh, I died. Yeah, that works. Whapping? Interesting. Whoa. Very interesting. That's some really cool behavior. Like it is kind of like you're painting with ink. Oh, this would be good for like stormy skies because the lighter opacity still bleeds into the darker opacity. Oh. This is all one stroke, by the way. I'm getting the feeling that it all kind of resets once you pick up the stylus. But very cool. That's neat. That is very neat. Up next, lichen. Hmm. Oh, this one's cool. I feel like I will be using this one a little bit. For like some good action lines to accentuate some action. Yeah. This will be good. Like if, for example, let's see, what was the pen I liked? I think I liked no. This one? No. Come on, where's a good old classic? Okay, fine, we'll work with this one. Yeah, I feel like if you slam your hand down on the table, like, psh, it's like, whoa. Alright. Well, this is a little hard to control, but alright. It's a lot harder to control, but you get the idea. Anyway, moving on. Agrarian. This definitely feels like painting with like an India ink or something. Oh, that's so smooth. Ooh, that's so smooth. That's nice. Wow. Okay. That is very fun. Uh-huh. Ooh, very nice. Okay, I want to yeah, I want to use this. Let's see. Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice. Okay. It's pretty translucent, but it doesn't do the multiply thing like the other one did. Okay. Okay, very cool. Up next, Whistler. Oh my gosh, look at that texture. Ah, you see that? You see that? Wow. That's nice. You're telling me this program is a $20 one-time purchase and I get this. Wow. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Oh, man, the thing is now though, it's just overwhelming because all of these are so good. I'm gonna have to go through. Oh, you know what? That could be a fun idea. Imagine. Ooh, wait, fun YouTube idea. Drawing something with only the brushes in each category. That could be a good way for me to actually get used to all these things because these are all so cool, but I don't know how I'll ever get myself to use all of these. It's like an overwhelming amount of choice. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that. Ah! Oh, does it do the thing? It does the thing. It does the thing, guys. It does the bleed thing. Ah, that's so cool. Okay. Oh, the speed. Okay. Oh, hello to those joining. Someone asked, how's everything? Everything is pretty sweet because I get to try all these out. Whoa, these all look kind of the same, but I'm sure they'll look different. Maybe I should test in dark blue instead of black. I feel like that'll give me better variation in value stuff. Yeah, it's a little easier to see when things get lighter. Wow. Look at that. Ah. Okay. Yeah, anyway, back to the question. Everything is great because I got to try all these out. That looks wacky. And am I avoiding homework? Yes. But am I still technically doing something sort of productive? Kind of, yes. So we're doing okay. Dude, I feel like I'm using a Crayola marker right now. I don't think I'll be using markers, the marker brushes as much because I am not a big marker person. But usually it's because I just don't like using up the markers and running out of ink. So maybe the digital version that will never run out of ink will be my remedy. I don't know though. I'm a paint girly. I love paint. Okay. Sleepyhead. Oh, this is like that dried up marker that when you like open the cap it smells really bad and it looks all fuzzy. Ugh, yeah. Absolutely. Dried marker. I can hear the sound from here. Lynn. See, if I ever do end up doing that. Now this is Expo marker on paper. Yeah. But yeah, if I end up doing the brush Procreate challenge thing, I will be dreading using the marker category. Just because they all... it's so hard to control the values. Because I like to overwork things. And it's so hard to cover large surfaces with markers because they just... ugh. Yeah, see, and they all do the multiply thing, which is extremely accurate. However, I don't like using markers in real life, so I don't like using accurate marker brushes in digital. Yeah, this looks kind of the same, can't really tell the difference, except it's like rounder. Paradise also looks the same, but flatter. Tiger looks like the same thing, but fuzzier. Yola. Oh, that's wacky. It's really tilt sensitive. That could be fun though. Still probably won't ever use this though. Look. Last one, Westerway. This one looks super opaque. Let's see. And it does. It is, in fact, super opaque. Okay, great. Those markers. Moving on. Pastels. Ooh. See, I messed around with pastels occasionally, but I didn't do it too much because of the mess. However, digitally, I can have the best of both worlds. So let's see, this one is Faham. Mm-hmm. Very pastel-y. I wonder if smudging with that, oh my gosh, these look great. But you know what? I might have to call it. Woo! That looks cool. Smudging with the pastel brush. I mean, I usually really don't smudge, but I feel like if you want to get that accurate pastel technique vibe, I feel like one of the key components of the like pastel and charcoal is just messing around with it with your finger. Honestly, paint too. I do that a lot. I do that with acrylics a lot. Occasionally watercolor. You're not really supposed to do it with oils, so I just use a rag for that. But yeah, interesting. Here we have Ravenswood. Yep, looks kind of messy. Up next, Trevelin. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, there's a little canvas texture going on there. And then we have Miena. Dude, I'm hungry. I'm gonna get a sandwich after this. Oh no, you know what? I just made pasta. I have tuna maca. This is cool. That's neat. Oh, interesting. The texture stays a little bit. The holes stay in the same spot. That is cool for texture, but that could also be really frustrating depending on what you're working with. But if you want that like pastel texture, it's pretty sweet. Fairy Wren. And another two-word one. Yeah, there probably are two-worded. No, there are. There are two-word brushes in the classic library. I'm just forgetting about them. Hmm. This one's cool. Looks a little fuzzy, looks a little soft. Very neat. This kind of reminds me of. I mean, I know Van Gogh didn't use pastels to make it, but Starry Night. You got the yeah. It mimics his painting pattern. That and then some deeper greens. That's too light. Too green. A little better, not great, but you get the gist. Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. There we go. All right. Anyway, back to testing. Up next is Meadowbank. Very similar to the fairy one, but a little less directional, I guess. It's a little more of stagnant texture. Nice. Bandicoot. Like, like Crash. Hmm. Very cool. This will be good for adding like a pop of texture on something. Man, this is making me really want to test out different textures for like finished pieces of art. I think I really might end up doing that, the YouTube series. You know, a question for the chat. If I did that, would you be interested? Or is there something else you would like to see? I could potentially play Silk Song. However, I'm not good at it. So it would probably be just me trying to fight the same boss for an hour. Overland. Oh, that's nice. No, I know this is pastel, but I might use this for painting. Although I haven't even gotten to the painting brushes yet. That is when I'm going to go crazy. Pop-Off says. Alright, sweet. I'm going to take that as a go-ahead. This one's nice too, very fuzzy. Although, you know what, I'm sure these brushes really shine when you mix them with others. Like, that's part of the charm of pastels, the way it all kind of smudges together. But I'll find that out when I make a whole painting with it. Picture, whatever. No way. You're telling me there's a whole category for oils? And wash and painted work? Okay. That didn't register until now, which is amazing. Oh my gosh, because I love the oil painting look, right? Love oil painting. But I never actually legitimately done it until what, 2 semesters ago? And it was amazing. But it's a pain because you need like a whole studio for it, or at least something with a place with good ventilation and good storage, because oils take forever to dry and they're kind of toxic to breathe in for too long, so you gotta like not do that. But digital had been my fix for that, but there was only one really good digital oils brush until now. Oh my gosh, got the canvas texture and everything. Let's see. How does it mix? Wait, does it? Doesn't. Oh, okay. A little bit. I say it doesn't totally mix, but it kind of does. Okay. Let's try something with a higher hue contrast. Not the biggest fan of like the spotty extra texture. This would be like more diluted paint, I guess. But I am a fan. Okay, up next, Lovely. Is it lovely? Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that very much. I gotta get one of those covers to like put on my stylus that makes it look like it's a paintbrush. Because these are awesome, but it's kind of hard to use when I'm controlling it with like a stylus. Maybe I just gotta lean back, hold it like a paintbrush. Oh, it mixes very well, drives in a lot. Okay. Moment of truth. How does it fare against other colors? Okay, alright. Still kind of just looks transparent. Don't know how I feel about the. I'm sure there's going to be a time and a place for this. Okay, up next, olive. Ooh, this is nice. This is like for the paintbrush that's just got enough solvent on it to like not look too pasty, but like it doesn't run too much. Oh yeah, and it's got a little texture in there. Let's pick a lighter color so we can see that better. Yeah, there's like significant brush strokes there. That's neat. That's very neat. This does not mix at all though. This is very much like a finishing texture kind of thing. Up next, scallop. Cool. These are all kind of starting, I mean, no pun intended, but they're all starting to blend together for me. It's a little harder to keep track. That is very symmetrical. I think that was messed up. Ooh. Blending is very nice on this one. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know though, a lot of these still don't really bring it in. Let's see, did the smudge help me out? Oh, a little bit, yeah. Alright. I think this is gonna be the last category we're doing today, because I do have other things I have to do before I go to bed, so, and it's gonna take a while to work on these. So once we finish with the oils, we're gonna shut it down, but thank you so much for being an excellent audience. It's been super fun testing it out with you guys, kind of messing around. Ooh, talk about texture. I did mess this around a little bit. And over here we have everlasting. Cool. I like that. That blends very nicely. This will probably be good for smudge. I shouldn't use smudge too much. Again, I'm just scribbling right now, so it's really hard to see how these will actually work until I try to use them to make a picture. I feel like these four are going to be interesting though. Let's see. Kombu. Whoa, that's wacky. What is happening here? Ooh. I don't know how I feel about that. Wait, does it just look like that because of the white background? Oh, fascinating. Cool. So this like seriously drags whatever's underneath it. Yeah. Okay, I like this more than I thought. And up next we got Sea Scout. Ooh, that is what I was looking for, I believe. That is the buttery, oily goodness. Yeah. Oh, nice. These are going to be so cool, but it's also going to be a nightmare to try and do a portrait with these. Because I think I want to annoy myself and do portraits with all of these, but landscapes would also work. And, or, I mean, a still life would be boring. I do enough still lifes in class. This is also neat, very similar to the other one. Yeah. Last one, platypus. This one looks fun. I can see a little canvas texture in there already. Nope, don't want to edit that. Very cool. And let's see. Aha. Very neat. I'm loving all this bonus texture we're getting. Feels very legit. At this point, if I ever test these out, I'm gonna have to put my iPad up on like an easel stand. Okay, well, that is the end of that, even though I could totally go on and just mess around with the rest of this stuff for hours. But I'm a college student with homework, and I'm sure you guys have stuff you gotta get to as well. So, I'm gonna give you guys a big, fat thank you! And, hold up, looks better. And there will be, hopefully, many more YouTube videos and streams and such in the future. I'm thinking of maybe doing a face reveal because I want to talk more, and I talk with my hands, and I was going to maybe just animate myself, but that would take probably too long, so might be easier to just record myself because I am a busy student with lots of stuff. So, good luck with all your guys' stuff. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you soon.